Nope is a Jordon Peele directed movie, his third film, by the way, behind Get Out and Us. And it tells the story of a couple of ranchers in inland California who bear witness to extraordinary events of extraterrestrials. Welcome to my note review, guys. Thank you so much for clicking here. I really do appreciate that. This is a film that I've been interested in. Ever since the first trailer dropped, I was really curious. I was really stumped because the first trailer, I had no idea what it was involved. I had no idea what the story was. Of course, that's what the teaser does. It ropes you in. When that first trailer came out, I was like, what the hell's going on here? But I was intrigued. I was definitely intrigued, especially when I found out who was doing it. Jordon Peele is one of those filmmakers that I really do respect. This only makes his third movie in, but I really do respect him. He's really showing a lot of promise. I've seen both Get Out and Us. I really like Us. But like I said, as a filmmaker, I really do respect the man. He shows such promise. He's a little weak on the narrative, but still. So was Nope worthwhile? Did it entice me enough? Was it something that I was actually intrigued by? Or did I feel the need to get out? Let's start off with the positives. And first and foremost, I gotta say the atmosphere was key on. It looked great. It definitely had some dark moments. And about the alien genre, we don't get enough of those. The most recent ones that I've seen that I remember seeing in the past few years was Predator, Prometheus, The Last Independence Day. But other than that, that's about it. And of course, Men in Black. But still, we don't get enough of those for some odd reason. But the film had such a slick look to it. And it really did fit it perfectly. That slickness and that horror vibe to it, especially with an alien movie. It was key on. I really did like it. I liked the way the movie looked. I liked the way it was shot. You know, Jordon Peele, he's the man. He's the man. And it was the right tone for what the film was. Jordon Peele knows his stuff. You know, going back to how good of a filmmaker he is. He really does know his shots. He really does know his coloring and his cinematography, like what he wants the cinematography to do. He's really good at that. He's really good at that stuff. And this film, it just looked great. It looked really good. Though this makes his third film, he's still early in the game, but he's showing promise. He's really showing definite promise. Keke Palmer, who plays the sister, she steals the show. If you haven't watched the trailer, it's in the trailer where she's talking about the first motion capture of a black man on a horse. That scene actually enticed me. And the way her dialogue was and the way she delivered it, she made me chuckle a couple of times. She was about the only comedic relief in this movie that actually did work for me. More about that later, but she definitely stole the show. Keke Palmer, I really did like her in this movie. She was just spot on, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, skin in the game.
And I've got to mention Michael Winscott. And it'd be like a gnat at a barbecue just bugging me if I don't mention this. The way his voice sounds, it's really enticing. Even though he's not in it much, he did kind of captivate me in a way because his presence and just the way his voice sounds, he just got one of those voices that resonates, and he was pretty cool in it. He's not in it much, but he was pretty cool. You just don't forget a voice like that. It's pretty powerful. I know. To most of you, that probably wasn't even that important, but to me it was. So yeah, like I said, gotta get that gnat. The story was good. Though there's a downfall to this, which I'll mention later, the story was good. I've always been a fan of the alien genre. Ever since I was 10 years old when the original Men in Black movie came out, I've always been fascinated by those types of movies. Men in Black, Mars Attacks, of course Independence Day, which is like the very, very top on everybody's list. And then you got all the alien movies, the Predator ones, which is technically not an alien movie, but he's like a creature close to an alien, I guess. Plus they got the Alien versus Predator movies out there, so there's that. And of course, Men in Black, which is what I grew up on. I've always been fascinated with alien movies. Again, that's why I'm kind of sad we don't get enough of them. But like, I guess the ones that they do, like Prometheus, And it didn't really do that well. I guess that's why we don't get much of them. But yeah, I've always been fascinated with alien movies. But the story was sound. And not to mention the effects. When you see the flying saucer, Jordon Peele keeps the special effects to a bare minimum. He's very conservative about that. That's what made it really good. This movie is more character driven. It doesn't really focus that much on the aliens like in the Alien series and Predator and Men in Black. This is more character driven, which is what Jordon Peele usually does or is starting to do, show off, this being his third movie and all. But the way the effects looks was pretty cool, and I really did appreciate that. The movie was cool. I really did enjoy certain aspects of it. If you haven't wondered by now in this part of the review why I haven't mentioned the brother, the other main character, played by Daniel Kaluuya. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. If I'm not, I apologize. There is a reason for that, and I'll get into it right now, starting with the mixed. This guy was great in Get Out. I've only seen that movie once, but I remember his performance like it was yesterday in that movie. The man knows how to do real emotions, and he really does perform well. And Nope, he does have his moments. However, he seemed like the most subdued, most closed off character in this whole entire movie. Like whenever he first looks at the flying saucer or the UFO in the sky, he just does like this. I better run. I better get the hell out of here. Just give us something. Just, react a little bit more. I mean, I'd be crapping in my pants if I saw something like that. Aliens living amongst us. Yeah, that's something that needs to be more reacted to, just saying. But, again, reason why this is in the mix is he still had his moments, and it didn't completely frustrate me. He just could have put a little bit more effort in his emotions when he saw the unusual flying saucer in the sky. And now on to my negatives, the narrative. Okay, it was a good story. I appreciated the alien aspect, but it felt like there was too much going on, which is the only downfall to Peele. Get Out was good. Us was great. And even though this only makes his third film, I noticed this a little bit in Us. The narrative was a little weak. And one aspect of Nope, Peele just felt obligated to do. It's like he was trying to force his self back, but then like really hard, but then he was like, oh, okay, let's do it anyway. There's one aspect of this movie to where I felt like it was just unnecessary. If you would have just cut it out, the movie would have been fine. And it felt like a commercial break because nothing really came out of it. It felt more like a commercial break than anything else. And you don't really get that much out of it. It didn't really signify anything else, anything more than that. And because of that, it just felt like the movie was just a little messy. And it's just, there's so much going on, and I like that certain aspect, I just didn't feel like they needed it. It felt a little moot at that point. And because of that, it just kind of felt like the movie did slow down a little bit. There's certain ways that this movie could have gone. It's a simple premise, though good. It's a pretty simple premise. And this movie clocks in a little over 2 hours. And if they'd have just cut that commercial break out, which is what I'm calling it, spoiler free, but they could have just cut that whole thing out, and it would have been shorter, and it would have gotten more to its point. And it wouldn't have felt as slow. As much as I enjoyed this movie, because I did, it did feel a little slow. And plus the humor, I didn't really get that much into it, except for Keke Palmer. Whenever she was on the screen, that's about the only time I laughed. But the rest of it, they were throwing out humor that didn't really appeal to me. I just didn't really get into it. But in the end, guys, Nope was fine. It's definitely not going to be for everybody. But it's something that you can enjoy and just turn your brain off and just enjoy for like 2 hours. But it's not going to be for everybody. Just know who you are. Personally, I prefer Us. If you're somebody who's already established a taste for Jordon Peele's work, you'll have a good time. But for the rest of you, be on the fence. So, what did you think of Nope? Are you a fan of Jordon Peele? Was this your most favorite movie out of the other two he did? Or do you prefer Get Out and Us? over Nope. Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, as always, for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And add the 5th one, just click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. I really do appreciate it, guys. Peace.